What did I just read? This startup from China, who calls itself a general purpose AI agent, has been acquired by Meta for $2 freaking billion US dollars. And it has reached $100 million ARR in just 8 months. Most deep tech companies and most AI startups cannot reach to this level and this stage in 8 years, and it just did it in 8 months. What a time to be alive. So when it calls itself a general purpose AI agent, what can we understand from its architecture, from its functionality? So we know that all of the AI systems are evolving from the reactive, the reasoning, the next token prediction based LLMs to the proactive multi-agent systems where we have deep hierarchical AI agents, and all of the AI agents are specialized in their own task. We have a coding agent, a testing agent. All of these agents are working in collaboration to accomplish a certain goal, right? So that's why we call them proactive, because they're accomplishing a certain goal themselves and they are capable of doing and executing tasks independently, irrespective of whether they are being probed or not. Whereas LLMs are always being called as reactive. At inference time, we will trigger the LLM to answer and to reason something, right? So Manus calls itself a general purpose AI agent. I don't know if general purpose AI agent is even a thing, right? So if there is an AI agent that can do everything, right, or an agentic environment or an AI system that can do everything and it can do better than 99 to 100% of humans, we know that we might call it AGI theoretically, and obviously it's a speculative stage as of now. So how does Manus do it differently, right, or especially differently than OpenAI? OpenAI also has its agent. Most companies have their own agents or agentic systems, but how does Manus do it differently, and what is the technical architecture or aspect behind this? What can we learn from it? So Manus tries to follow this framework. Let's call it fire and forget, right? Let's imagine that each task that an agent or agentic system that has to agentic system has to accomplish gets assigned from a pool of workers, a worker or an environment. Now that environment is an ephemeral environment, right? Just in time it gets assigned an environment where the agent does all of its tasks. Now this environment is a full-fledged Linux-based Ubuntu environment, and the agent acts like a human power user. So obviously the user who is interacting in the environment is not a human, but it's an LLM that is interacting behind that environment, right? So we all know that in the agentic system stack, we have an LLM that acts like a base model, and we also have an environment component, right? Along with environment, we also have tools component. Tools is basically the hands of the LLM, right? If LLM is the brain, tools are the hands, right? So Manus kind of uses this particular architecture where it uses this virtual sandboxed environment, and each task gets assigned this virtual sandbox environment, which is ephemeral in nature, which has its own memory, which has full terminal access, which is not constrained by the safety of a local browser environment, just like OpenAI does, right? So some of the numbers that are to be noted, for Manus, and especially for my VC friends. So Manus has received 16 to 24x of its annual revenue, during this acquisition. So because Manus was doing 100 to 125 million dollar ARR, and the deal that was closed, which was disclosed at on 30th December, the deal was closed at $2 billion. So I think 16 to 24x times your revenue is a decent, deal. It's not a overvalued deal. It's not a super undervalued deal. It's a decently valued deal, especially for high growth SaaS and AI based startups. Now there is one concept that I have been focusing on. So whenever I have been reading about AGI, that whether multi-agent system will evolve into AGI, or whether multi-agent system will be a path and paradigm to artificial general intelligence, we have always, or I have always read uh, the AI researchers critique that multi-agent system might be very good in behaving as if a large human organization is trying to accomplish a large goal. But the key architecture behind an LLM is a transformer based architecture, which is not well suited to simulate like a brain, right? Whereas Manus kind of proved, or Manus kind of argued, Manus said that to be or to achieve fully autonomous systems, we don't need a brain like environment. We don't need a brain. Claude 3.5, Claude 3.7, these models are enough to reason. They are enough to build fully autonomous systems, right? So this is a key paradigm, or this is a key learning from this particular deal. So the first thing is that the architecture that Manus has been using, the high level design that Manus has been using for their agentic system. The second thing is that Manus trying to contradict this hypothesis that multi-agent systems are not fully sufficient to be autonomous, and they are not the correct path to AGI, because the base model that they are using is not like a world model, is not a model that can behave like a brain, that can reason, think, plan, and have persistent memory like a brain. Whereas Manus kind of contradicted it. Manus kind of said that you use LLM as a brain, give it proper hands. Manus argued that give an LLM proper hands, give it a proper virtual sandbox environment, and it is more than enough for you to build fully autonomous systems. So now what's Meta going to do with Manus's agents? So Meta's acquisition will allow them to scale Manus's agents and integrate them in all of their business and consumer applications across Meta AI for business. So yeah, cheers for this video. Thanks.